guys, you're in a nutshell with me, Ina. Alam nyo ba? Okay, last year, 2025, 40 plus percent of the people invited for permanent residency sa Express Entry, I believe, 40 plus percent ay yung French speakers. Di ba? Ang laking porsyento. Now, I read this article raising some concerns about the French draws. Okay, sabi nila, it's basically asking, kapag French speaker ba, um, automatic, mas maganda ang kanilang skills. Are they high-skilled workers? Are they better quality? Yan, immigrants. Kasi ang nangyayari guys, dahil nga sobrang laki ng pag-incentivize sa French speaking, ang baba ng CRS scores na nire-require o na ini-impose dyan sa French draws. So ano ba ibig sabihin pag mas mababa yung cut-off scores, no? Anong klaseng immigrants ang tinatanggap pag ganon? Okay, and then there are other issues concerned like, naku, laganap na rin daw ngayon ng Peking French proficiency exams. Okay, yan ang ating pag-uusapan. Effective ba talaga itong French draws? Kung gusto ng Canadang pagandahin daw ang mga uri ng immigrants na kanilang tinatanggap. Ayan. Ang ating guest, proficient din sa French, Attorney Lou Dangzalan, who is currently in Manila naman. Alam niyo naman talaga to, no? Traveler, paiba-iba ang lokasyon sa kada interview natin. Hello, Attorney Lou!
Magandang umaga, magandang hapon, magandang gabi sa inyo.
Okay. Guys, medyo may background sound lang si Attorney Lou because he is in a cafe. Pero naiintindihan naman natin siya, no? Okay, Attorney Lou, let me put up that article na sinasabi ko kaya kita in-invite for this topic. So it's raising concerns. Ito yan, Canada's immigration system is favoring these kinds of applicants, referring to the French speakers, even over others who score higher. Okay, then there is a quote here. Let me say, ayan. One of its resource persons says, human capital isn't really a concern pagdating sa Francophone draws daw. With a score in the high 300s, you're definitely less educated, according to him, and you could say less likely to succeed in the Canadian labor market or economically establish yourself. Do you agree with that, Attorney Lou?
Generally, yes. There's truth to that particular criticism dahil alam naman natin na malaking punto sa INAC Award kapag mayroon kang taas na education credential, kung maganda ang iyong language points, especially in both in English and in French. At ang iyong work experience, of course, in Canada especially, if it is skilled and full-time, it is rewarded. So, may punto yung consultant and yun nga, sayang kasi itong opportunity na to for a lot of people na ang taas ng human capital factors na sana mare-retain ng Canada. Sa ibang forum, na-discuss ko na rin to actually, na interestingly, yung French kasi as a choice in the program, yung levels plan that is, political choice ito. Hindi ito programmatic choice na nakasentro dun sa baseline needs ng Express Entry. Yung, kumbaga yung objective sa Express Entry is to prioritize human capital factors. Pero itong programa na ito, category-based trauma, ipina-prioritize yung political choices ng isang gobyerno. There's not necessarily anything wrong with that. Pero at the same time, very valid yung bakit ang dami pataas na huwag natin palit ng palit.
Oo. And then there's another concern raised there. Parang meron silang sinasite na nakapasok na, na-draw na, no? French speaker. The reality naman daw on the ground is, pagdating nila dito, nag-work na, they don't even speak French in the workplace most of the time. So parang, is it working in that sense if they wanna promote French speaking and yet hindi naman napapractice in reality?
So, same time, outside Quebec, the majority language is still English. But it doesn't necessarily mean na required dapat yung mga applicants na pumapasok dito sa rito na to na magsalita in French time. Pero yun nga, valid yung criticism to a certain extent. But you have to understand, this is part of yung official languages ng
Yeah.
Canada, yung program ng Canada. From the 80s pa po ito, na talagang merong governmental push from top down na ipoprotect yung minority language rights ng mga francophones in Canada. That's why there is sort of a rebalancing of linguistic minorities. Dahil nga paunti ang French speakers outside Quebec, ang ginagawa, layunin nitong programa nito ay palakasin pa ang francophone minorities. Pero yun nga, again, hindi ko dinidismiss yung criticism valid yung criticism. Pero at the same time, politics is kind of like the art of allocating resources na scarce, di ba, within society. Parte rin yan ng realidad ng Canada. And magandang diskusyon ito sa politika. Yun nga, sa akin na lang, final point. Tama ba na sa time na paliit ng immigration pie, na pinapataas pa, hindi lang proportion but in absolute numbers, yung francophone immigration. Is this the right time? Perhaps kung ako yung nagpaplano sa levels plan, baka pinag-aralan pa to at the very least. And I'm sure pinag-aralan naman to. Pero in the end kasi, yung mga leaders natin, yung mga politicians pa rin na magde-decide, hindi naman yung mga policy makers sa bureaucracy.
Yan. Oh, guys, don't get me wrong, I am not against francophone draws. We are just, as Attorney Lu mentioned, discussing valid points raised about the program. In fact, in previous episodes nga, in a way, parang tinutulak pa natin yun ang mga kababayan natin to learn French, if only to boost their chances of, getting drawn for their PR pathways, no? Okay, and lastly, ito na naman, Attorney Lu. Kaya ako nito nire-raise kasi nga ang daming ina-allocate for French speakers. Ito na naman tayo, ang mga balitang ang dami naman daw namemeke na ngayon ng French proficiency exam. I would assume, Attorney Lu, dapat yung IRCC natuto na dun sa mga fake IELTS incidents in the past. What do you think about this? And palagay mo, in a better position na ngayon ng IRCC officers in assessing itong mga fake certifications?
I think so. In a way, kasi may experience sila in dealing with the spike in fraud pagdating dito sa kalakaran ng language tests. Siguro yung weakness dito is yung mga institutions na nagde-deliver ng French language tests. Hindi pa kasi sila natimbrehan na ganito kataas yung incidence of fraud. Lalo na't napaka-competitive ng immigration across. So dahil yung volume biglang pumunta dun sa French dip, hindi na nakakagulat na pati yung problema sa English side pumupunta dun sa French side. So, the good news, guys, is may mga mekanismo upang mahabol sila ng IRCC. Una dyan, na papalitaan natin, even IRCC, even kapag nakapag-submit ka na, pinapatawag pa rin for a French-speaking interview yung mga kandidato to verify. But that is a good move. Pangalawang punto, pwedeng i-secure pa at i-review kung ano mga parameters na ginawa ng IRCC for IELTS doon, yung controversial natin tungkol sa dayaan, pwede nilang ilatag ulit yun, pero this time dun sa mga providers for French. Pangatlo, yung plataforma na ginagamit nila, secure ba ito? Diba? Namemeke pa ito. May mga security markers pa yung mga certificates. Kasi tandaan natin na yung information dun sa iyong test, directly tinatransmit din yan sa IRCC. Meron silang backdoor entrance, kumbaga, na itatransmit, na i-prepare yan sa profiles niyo. So, ang question dito is secure that. Diba? So, I'm sure IRCC is studying this. I'm sure they're on it. And again, thankfully, this isn't the first ride in the rodeo. Sanay na si IRCC.
Oo nga, Tsaka sa totoo lang, magiging diretso na ako dito. I don't think fraud sa French proficiency certificates is coming from our community. I don't think so, no? Sana nga, alam na nila yun. Ano ba yan? Alam na nila kung saan titingnan. Because yung fake IELTS exam, it was very prominent in a specific community and I am just making an educated guess, na baka doon muli ito nangyayari, no? Ikaw, marami ka na bang mga clients, just to patapos na tayo, maikli lang naman to, no? Marami ka na bang clients na naging successful sa pag-aaral ng French and then na-draw na for PR because of those extra points?
Yes, from zero French to fantastic French. Yung dati naming celebrated case ng client namin na 2 years ago pa nag-start mag-aral ng French. Ngayon, PR na siya. Sakto lumabas yung invitation niya 3 months before papasok yung kanyang postgraduate permit. So naipasa namin before the expiration, lumabas yung acknowledgement of receipt, naihabol namin yung bridging open work permit at lumabas din yung kanyang PR 6 months later. Success story kasi 1 year and 2 months from 2 tries in the exam. Yung first try nga niya, nagulat kami, wow, ang taas ng scores. We expected mga 5 out of 10, ganun. Pero hindi. Puro 7 out of 10 except sa isang marker na 5 out of 10. Kaya namin ako, huwag ka ma-depress. Napakataas nito. Actually, very, very good before first try. Aral ka pa ulit, try mo ulit. So, yun nga ginawa niya, 2 more months. Tapos, gulat kami through the roof. Ano yung labas-labas ng CRS yan? Nasa 560s ata.
Oo. But do you think, last pala, Attorney Luno, do you think the low scores given set for Francophone draws will remain low? Or is it also possible? Kasi dadami siyempre yung interesado. I don't know, by any chance, baka sabihin nilang, anak, gawin natin mas competitive na rin eventually.
I love your instinct. Pero you have to remember, and people need to remind themselves na hindi po sineset ng IRCC yung cut-off scores.
Oh, all right, okay.
Draws. Diba? Ang cut-off scores ay determined po by the quality of the candidates in the pool for a particular category and the number of invitations issued.
Okay.
Kasi there was a time na 470s po ang cut-off score for the French category based. Diba? Ang taas din nun kahit paano. Pero may mga times na tama yung consultant nasa 390s. So, ang baba, diba? So, you know, in those instances naman, ang daming invitations na pinadala, diba? So, hindi po sineset ng IRCC yan. Yung sineset ng IRCC yung number of invitations. Pangalawa, ibig bang sabihin, pwedeng tumaas? O pwede. Kung ibaba nila yung number ng invitations, pwedeng mangyari yan. Pangalawang punto, ito yung teorya ko actually, in a few months, maybe half a year to a year from now, maaaring yung mga nagsimula mag-aral ng French since last year, ay mga nagtitake na ng test sa ngayon.
Okay.
So makikita natin yung gradual rise ng kanilang human capital factors through bilingualism. Kasi even if hindi naman ikaw pasok sa category-based draws for French, kasi 7 out of 10 ang requirement, pwede ka pa rin makakuha ng additional points for your, level 5 French, for example. So, dahan-dahan na magkakaroon ng upward delta yung general population dun sa pool. And sumutotal nito, pataas na naman yung cutoff score. Diba?
Yeah.
So, even for just Canadian experience class, for example. And ultimately, pati yung French category, category-based targeted selection na, pwedeng makita natin na tumaas din yung cutoff score here.
Yan. Okay. Well, thank you for your insights. As always, Attorney Lou, yung email ni Attorney Lou, yung gumagapang dyan sa baba. If you wanna ask about yung about taking French classes, posible ba yan? Will it help you a lot? Diba? Baka talagang naghahanap ka na ng way to boost your scores or ano man, your chances. Okay, that is his email. We will end this episode here. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks, Attorney Wu. Bye!